To me, transformation is really the ability to take what life brings us and to become resilient and to still thrive. And I love this quote, Florida Scott Maxwell: when we can claim the events of our lives, all that we've been and done, we are fierce with reality. And I think that's the challenge, to meet those events, because nobody controls life. And so I think that's the work.
As I listen, I hear you saying transformation only really is possible when we can meet the events of our life. And that's when we can become fierce.
It takes time. You know, it takes time and it takes support, and I think there's our own soul's timing, our own timing of integration. In psychotherapy, they talk often about what's your personal narrative. You know, find your personal narrative. And all of us will tell a story over and over until we're done with it. You know, the body is brilliant. So shock is when there's so much overwhelm that it's safer to dissociate consciousness from the body, because we don't know if the body's going to survive or not. And so shock is what I call a whole brain state. And what I'm finding is if I can actually treat at a brain state level, I'm finding applied neuroplasticity. And that neuroplasticity, in terms of neuroscience, is where real change happens. And we can feel it and we can see it. Here's the key, though. Unless we pick up the lost parts of self, that part of us is always going to stay defended because it doesn't know we survived. And that's where going back to the earliest events and reclaiming the part of self that might have gone to spirit, because that was the only place to go at the time.
I think what's so powerful for me as I listen is on what a very deep level trust exists, and how that is coming from touch, yield, flow, and that goes back to our very beginnings. If we can simply be aware of our intelligence and our consciousness,
Yes.
from the very earliest.
I would have to add to that, we also help our body remember how to feel all that, because we can cognitively digest and integrate the story or find, you know, a spiritual or a heartfelt sense, but the basic proprioception of being able to withstand pressure and weight and difficulty, things get troublesome as we look at consciousness and spirituality and transformation. Many people transform from a disembodied place. And to have grounded people who are able to meet difficulty and have spirit is what I'm interested in. That's been my own journey in my life, to actually meet the difficulties and find that resiliency. And so practices that help open the heart and open the spirit are valuable, but to bring that into the ability to stay present with absolute confusion and overwhelm, or when one gets angry, not to rise above it, but actually to take that potency of the anger and be able to use that power in the body, and instead of getting, you know, to become resilient, it's like, oh, that's energy. How can I stay in relationship with you when I'm angry? You know, how can I stay in relationship with myself or when I'm afraid? And I feel that the ability as mammals, you know, that's our beauty, is we go to the relationships for support.